Hello, if you're just joining me, this is the Wargame Cup, tournament put by New Gen Systems using their game, Wargame European Escalation, and sponsored by Intel, the guys who make your fancy computers. And if you've been watching the tournament for quite a while, you know my name is Troublemaker, and this is a matchup between NATO player, Univ3rs, and pact player, Hi-yo. Or maybe I should do that a little more epically. Hi-yo! Hi-yo! I can't do it right, I'm sorry. These are two relatively unknown players, but one of these players will make it into round 4 and will get a chance for the beta access, which is guaranteed to all round 4 winners. And so we're on the map called Hell's Highway. Kind of a scary little map. It's very paper thin, and there's realistically only a single road that matters on this map. This single road here, which nobody really wants to travel because it's such a scary road. There are other roads that do lead around the map, but they're so long by comparison that people generally do not use them for anything other than protecting from weird flank attacks. And so looks like we have a 2-command strategy here from Univ3rs, and from Hi-yo we have a 2-command strategy as well. And commands in this game dedicate points. Points are earned by capturing zones. Each zone has a number on it, and that indicates how many points you get every 5 seconds. And people will generally fight for the higher point sections of the map because this way they can get more points. And it looks like as an early move, Univ3rs is actually going to try and swipe Echo. Now there are some gunships here actually ready to strike at enemies, and it's very common to have to create flanks in this game. So the first flank he has to worry about is a north-south flank between Echo and Foxtrot. The second flank you'll have to worry about is an east-west flank between Delta and Echo. And most people kind of plan for this. It looks like both players are going with a high amount of infantry, and it looks like we're actually going to see a battle go on right now. An attempt to take middle. Of course, the person who does take middle gets a pretty significant advantage on this map, mostly because there's not a lot of options for taking high numbered territories on this map. And he's actually brought a supply here to resupply his units as they move, and he might just try and bypass this whole thing. And a big army does move up for Univ3rs with lots of tank destroyers, tanks, marker VTSIs, these Bradley Recons, which of course have the rockets on them, and whoa, even the gunships are actually getting shot at without shooting themselves. You're seeing a lot of tanks leading the charge, followed by a lot of infantry carriers, and this is a very common move. When you're using infantry, you want to rush them up and then drop them on top of tanks. But it looks like he's just going to feed them all through into a choke. A real crying shame. Here's Univ3rs going to take a bigger lead here. Some of these motor stealthies are getting in range to fire, but doing relatively minor damage. The tanks are coming around as well, and it looks like we can see a pullback here from Univ3rs, pulling back into this woods location, which of course is actually, covered to give a bonus defense. And the VAB is getting pulled back. Of course, the VAB getting pulled back so that it doesn't destroy. They are quite expensive, and it is mostly a game of points. This is destruction mode, so killing a command armor will be huge. And oh my god, the command armor is all loading and revealing its position, and it's got hit already. It might just die. Still a pretty significant lead here for Univ3rs, as Hi-yo has just completely botched this opening move, in which his tank rush just got struck down by all directions. Both units facing off against each other. The gunship helicopters are doing significant damage, but it doesn't seem like it really matters too much. The remainder forces of Hi-yo are actually going to pull back and support the Foxtrot location. And his 2 command armors are actually both on Foxtrot. He's not gaining a lot of points right now. And the remainder forces here for Hi-yo are actually just infantry, who have a very limited range and will not be able to strike. There is a recon here terrorizing this Yager, but this is something that's pretty easy to clear up. And a pretty significant early win for Univ3rs. Not only did he take Echo, but he was also able to clear out roughly twice as many units as his enemy did, giving a pretty significant advantage and probably putting the fear of God into Hi-yo, who is at this weird point where he just doesn't have anything that can fight back. He's forced to move his command armor. He's not even able to take golf. He has to move all the way back to hotel in a fear of getting attacked. And not going to try and swipe this him. Wants to get those points. Instead, you can actually steal supply trucks in this game. Steal the enemy's supply truck and use it for yourself, but he's not going to go for it. Does he have an FOB? Actually, he doesn't. Wait, no, he doesn't actually have an FOB, so there's no need for him to steal that supply truck, actually. And the enemy doesn't have one either. FOB, of course, is supply. Supply is good. And I guess that's going to be the big action for the moment. Now, generally speaking, a lot of people like to go for these high resource points, and they will start getting expensive units. And expensive units, such as artillery, can be used for tipping the balance and slowly whittling away your enemy. Now, you can see that there's actually be a big infantry splash here. And Spadokonowski's deployed. The VAB is quickly pulled back. And they might, oh my god, they get a mortar carrier there? Oh, that's pretty sick. Mortars, of course, are an artillery unit. And going to do relatively good damage, but not really trading effectively. There is a gunship helicopter here, though. It might be able to snipe something here. There isn't exactly a lot of anti-air here for Univ3rs, so he's going to have to deploy some anti-air quickly. Unfortunately, he's getting a bunch of supply trucks. Oh, looks like an unfortunate happening. Getting too close to the infantry. Infantry have a very short range, but are very potent at short range. And looks like everything here was cleaned up. That might have been just a panic move from Ohio. Infantry generally trades very good with everything. But the problem with infantry is that you have to get them in close range. And if you can't get them in that close range, then suddenly they become not so great. Bring out more tanks. I'm not sure he's going to rush with these right away. He's going to try and build up another force. Because generally speaking, units do not do well in isolation. He's actually going to bring these. This is such a smart move. He's sending his supply trucks forward and giving them to the enemy in hopes of revealing some positions. And he can also kill his own supply trucks, which are now empty, for extra points, which is so smart. And in fact, you know, Ohio catches on. He's like, "Hey, here's your supply trucks back." And we're seeing some Fernspare recon infantry being pushed forward to help spot locations for these mortars, which are basically surviving on supply trucks. And it appears that this should be a pretty cut-clear win for Univ3rs, who has a very significant advantage. Artillery actually does very well on this map, and it has to do with clumping. The more clumped units are, the more likely they are to get hit by artillery, and the better artillery you're going to do. And so far, Univ3rs, knowing that he's winning, not going to risk anything, he's going for a lot of units, and a lot of very specific defensive type units like tank destroyers, support vehicles, anti-air units. He has a Delta Force sat in this town here. This town is actually a very key point in the map because it's here, but it's not at its mere location. And because of that, it makes it one of these points where it's very easy to snipe the enemy's reinforcements if you do not have units there. And the mortars continue firing, pounding on this location, doing a little bit of damage to this giant clump of tanks, which looks like it will be the big all-in play here for Ohio. And here we go, all in a lineup again, going for roughly the same kind of thing, except this time much more tanks. And he's going right through the infantry line, only significant infantry or tanks to the grenade damage, and he actually doesn't keep a single tank before he can do any real damage. He is now twice behind, and here comes the remainder tanks. Why not throw them away? TPZ folks actually going to run accidentally into the woods near this command armor. It was rooted. It wasn't being pushed there. And now the TPZ folks is accidentally in a really good position. Well, until this BMP-10 showed up and started punching it in the face. But, yeah, it appears that one of these players is really good, and one of these players is not really good. And I will give you a hint. Univ3rs is quite good. He's doing quite well. It'll be interesting because the round of 64, I believe, or it's the round of 128, maybe it's the round of 128, happens next round, and the remainder of people left in the tournament will be quite good. And that round will really show who is going to shine. And we have 3 Malkas. Something that could have been done earlier. There's a lot of units here actually very clumped up for Univ3rs, and so his artillery actually be more effective because there's more units to hit. It's one of those weird things, like if you don't destroy a lot of the enemy units, then artillery actually be more effective than they were before. But we cells come in here with some Yaggers, all these Pietras and mechs, and More Pietros and Max come in, supporting. Looks like they're going to clear this location. Some artillery are also supporting this location. The B cell not doing quite as effectively as it should, and it looks like that little push has been thwarted. And neither player has FOB, so they're actually relying a lot on supply trucks only to really resupply their artillery, which is a little bit inefficient. It's better to have the supply trucks rolling from an FOB. It saves you quite a significant amount of supply, but you also lose an early advantage. You get less units. So it's kind of a trade, early advantage versus long-term strategy. And a lot of people will mix it up quite a bit. This map particular favors actually having an FOB, just because there's that one giant road. It's very few people even try to steal FOBs, and it's not too hard to defend. Looks like all these augers will get picked off. The lead for Univ3rs right now is so high that it's not likely for him to lose at this point, and there's really not much for his opponent to do. There's a pretty significant economic advantage. He has now actually taken a 3rd place, Delta, and it's one of those calculations you have to do. If you're getting 4 points every 5 seconds, that means you're getting 28 points a minute. 12 minutes left in the game. That means you're going to get what, 360 points. And you look at the cost, you'll actually see 240. So you get about an extra 40 points worth of units. Keep in mind, it's probably been there for an extra minute, so probably like an extra few tanks in the end. It's a hard calculation to make because the benefit of having a few extra units might not work out. It's one of those weird calculations you have to do, though. And some players really favor having extra commands, because having extra commands also makes it more secure. I mean, this is a destruction mode, so it also means that you are less likely to lose. And we see a large group of TPC Fuchs being deployed circling Foxtrot. And speaking of big giant pushes, we have tanks, TPC Fuchs loaded full of infantry, looks like Jaegers, some Martyr 1s, some Leopard 2A4s, some MBT 70 crazy expensive battle tanks, and even the Jaeger looks like he's going to come out of his hiding spot and push up a little bit. Looks like he's just going to push forward and clear out whatever he can with this. It doesn't look like this is a kill move, but he does have, having said that, a Jaeger creeping through the woods trying to get after these infantry fighting vehicles. And with the artillery, this push should do a much better job than the last, as if the artillery doesn't wind up in time. Looks like the artillery is actually not going to wind up and fire on this location. You see the Malkas are winding up though for some very short range artillery fire, and it's stunned 3 Martyr VTSIs and a TPC Fuchs, and he's actually going to send 4 of these Jaegers after the Malkas, and that's a little dangerous for Ohio. Of course, Malkas are one of these units that can't really defend themselves. And yeah, the command really doesn't have much of a place to go right now. The TPC Fuchs are winding up. What is his attacking? Looks like he's going after the anti-aircraft guns. And he has Martyr VTSIs in the woods with some TPC Fuchs. Looks like the command armor might get away, but oh my god, we have a TPC Fuchs here actually might get in the way of this command armor. But maybe it will get away. It's hard to say. He has to just stop, and he might be able to get it. And look at these Jaegers, actually going to wipe out quite a few anti-aircraft guns here. Combat level 2. Walking units in the woods here, just wiping out a lot of the units of Univ3rs, and really showing a good push. Hit the support of these Malkas, which are now mostly dead. It's going to be kind of a problem. Oh my god, look how close it was. Now the TPC Fuchs does see the command armor, and it's actually going to chase it down. It's got to go on the move fast command if it wants to catch this command armor. That's a pretty big thing to do. Preemptive command armor. And oh my god, expensive tanks might be going down. Still a 1200 point lead, however, for Univ3rs, who's finally pulling back, realizing that this effort was in vain. He has actually isolated that position quite effectively, and he's actually sending a lot of infantry all the way up, trying to chase down this command armor, and just wanting to finish this. It's about 9 minutes left in the game. Not really enough time for Hayo to come back. He would need some pretty magical efforts. And tank destroyer in an awkward position to run out of fuel, kind of just out in the open. There is a special horse here that can actually just destroy this easily, but looks like they'll just chill out. These of course these FJB are packed the anti-aircraft infantry. They have the Strela 2 anti-aircraft rockets, and looks like there's no reinforcement point as well for Hio. This command armor cannot stay where it is. There's too many forces heading forward. And it looks like he's going to continue this push here and just finish off Foxtrot location. He might even be able to ship his command from Bravo all the way up to Foxtrot just so he can really have a faster reinforcement point. And this game is pretty well over for Hio, and this tournament is definitely over for Hio in the least. As we see, he's playing a little bit of a game of hide and go command center. Not really sure what to do right now. And everything's just getting picked off. Like Spado Karnowski's getting picked off. These Pietros and Mechs might get picked off. These Spado Karnowskis are actually doing quite a bit of damage though. Like they just did 200 points of damage there by themselves. And that's really one of the advantages of having infantry in these little towns. They get such a huge advantage. And here we go. Actually gonna bring in some recon helicopters with ammunition. And Chasseurs not gonna be able to take these out. But where'd the command go? It looks like the command has been sniped out. And here we go. A helicopter snipes the command to end the game before it would have ended from time. Huge victory for Univ3rs. Not a particularly high level player. He played a lot higher level than he had looks. And, you know, he's going to be in round 4. So he'll be facing a much harder opponent. And we'll actually get to see what he's really about. Because to me, this game was more about Hio playing really poorly and less about Univ3rs playing really well. Unfortunately, it's not a slam on Univ3rs. I'm sure he's good. But round 4's coming, and we could really see something from Univ3rs, or he could just become a flopping fish in the wind or something. Who knows? We'll have to see. Round 4 is coming relatively soon. Deadline's coming up, so you know, could see something soon. Ending my day with another big game. So stay tuned for that, and this is a heavy hitter, definitely worth watching. My name has been Troublemaker. If you, this is the last video you're watching today, you know, like I'll see you tomorrow, and if not, just click on the button and watch the next video. Just do it. It's a good game. It's gonna be a good game. Big player.